Kill the cow that is causing stagnation in your life. Once upon a time, in a faraway land, there lived a Chinese wise man and his disciple. One day, during their travels, they saw a hut in the distance. As they approached the hut, they realized that it was really occupied in spite of its extremely poor appearances. In that desolate place, where there were no crops and no trees, a man lived with his wife, 3 young children, and a thin, tired cow. Since they were hungry and thirsty, the wise man and his disciple stopped for a few hours and were well received in that desolate place. At one point, the wise man asked, "This is a very poor place, far away from anything. How do you survive?" The old man answered, "You see that cow? That's what keeps us going. She gives us milk. Some of it we drink and some we turn into cheese. When there is extra, we go into the city and exchange the milk and cheese for other types of food. And that's how we survive." The wise man thanked them for their hospitality and left. When he reached the first bend in the road, he said to his disciple, "Go back, get that cow, take her to the cliff in front of us and push her off." The disciple could not believe what he was hearing. "I cannot do that, Master. How can you be so ungrateful? The cow is all they have. If I throw it off the cliff, they will have no way of surviving without the cow. They will die." Then the wise man, an elderly Chinese man, took a deep breath and repeated his order, "Go ahead, push the cow off the cliff." So outraged by what he was being asked to do, the disciple went to obey his master. He returned to the hut and quietly led the animal to the edge of the cliff and pushed. The cow fell down the cliff and died. As the years went by, remorse for what he had done never left the disciple. One spring day, the guilt became too much to bear, and he left the wise man and returned to that little shack. He wanted to find out what had happened to that family and to help them out, apologize, or somehow make amends. He walked and walked, and upon rounding a turn in the road, he could not believe what his eyes were showing him. In the place of the poor shack, there was a beautiful house with trees around, a swimming pool, several cars in the garage, a satellite dish, and many, many more. 3 good-looking teenagers and their parents were celebrating their first $1 million. Heart of that disciple froze. What could have happened to that family? Without a doubt, they must have been starving to death and forced to sell their land and live. At that moment, the disciple thought they must all be begging on the street corners of some city. He was shaken to the core. Slowly, he approached the house and asked the man that was passing by about the whereabouts of the family that had lived there several years before. "You are looking at it," said the man, pointing to the people that were gathered around the barbecue. Unable to believe what he was hearing, the disciple walked through the gate and took a few steps closer to the pool where he recognized the man from several years before. Only that now he was strong and confident. The woman was happy and the children were now good-looking teenagers. This very moment, the disciple was really dumbfounded. He went over to the man and asked, "What happened?" "I was here with my master a few years ago, and this was a miserable place. I mean, there was nothing here. What did you do to improve your lives in such a short time?" The man looked at the disciple and replied with a smile, "We earned a cow that kept us alive. She was all we earned. But then one day, she fell off the cliff and died. For us to survive, we had to start doing other things, develop the skills we didn't even know that we had. Now, because we were forced to come up with new ways of doing things, we are now much better off than before." Sometimes, what we believe in that is our great source of help turns out to be a thing that has been enslaving us into believing that without it, we cannot survive. There is great potential that has been deposited in us. We only need to wake up and exploit the potential. So, my friend, just keep the cow, push it off the cliff, and come up with greater and better ideas.